Aloha, good morning. This is Caron Davis of Caron Realty International. Hope everyone's had a wonderful week and we were able to get away. Actually, this last week we went skiing in Whistler Mountain, and I tell you, I appreciate Hawaii more and more, but I love my skiing, and we had a great ski trip, met family from Australia and had a wonderful time with my family and their friends from Sydney. There's nothing better than to catch up with your family, of course. Anyway, so we're going to talk about what happened in January. It was a very interesting month. We were extremely busy with a lot of showings. And what I found is during that Christmas, New Year's period, a lot of the showings were with our more expensive homes, a lot of mainland or international buyers coming into town. And I would say the first couple of weeks, very busy with showings. And then as January went along, we got more of the local market, more of the middle range properties, but of course still the luxury higher end showings were there also. So a lot of people looking in January. So let's see what that means for January going into escrow. Just to let you know, with the there was an increase in the median price, even though the amount of sales were down. And what we found is the days on the market, it took luxury homes about 50% longer to sell in January versus December. And there was about 30% of the listings that did go into escrow had price changes to make that happen. So we'll see whether, price changes are going to continue, or whether people, realtors will start having new list prices on properties. And I think a lot to do with some of the properties that are relying on financing. Those interest rates certainly haven't come down as much as people have thought, even if a lot of them haven't come down the fixed rates. But just to let you know, the biggest price range that was active in January was that 1.8 to 2.9 million that represented 73% of sales. But interestingly enough, the price range of 3 million to a little under 6 million, there was a 71% increase in pending sales, which is very interesting to see those higher prices homes go into escrow now. As you can see by my graph here, the highest sold single family home is 6.3 million, and the median price was about 2.3 million. And that median price was about 10% up, like I mentioned. And if we go to the luxury sales volume, you can see we're quite healthy still. We're definitely at 30 sales, a little lower than, mid last year. But of course, I believe that you'll see that number keep going up as we go into more into the first quarter and second quarter. And then here is the highest sell for last month, January. And this was a lovely home on Poker Street in Diamond Head. And this eventually sold for 6.3 million, but it had originally come on the market for 7.9 million just a little less than a year ago. And they gradually adjusted the price to get their sales price. Beautiful modern home, 7 bedrooms, 6 full baths, 10,000 square feet of land, and very nice home. And, it's interesting because you get a home like this that just sold for 6.3 million. And then we had a home on Kahala Avenue that sold for 9.8 million last year. That was a modern home also. But, I do have quite a bit of experience in building luxury homes. My husband and I, we build our own, of course. And there definitely is a difference with homes, how much people will pay with the different quality of materials. And even though this had good quality, the home that sold for 9.8 really had superb quality of finishing. So it does matter about the quality that you put into construction at what level. And this home certainly had good quality, but sometimes there's a whole other level there to consider. Now, going into the luxury condo market, this actually was rather busy, and a big part of it was because, of course, we mentioned this last month, I believe, the Victoria Place sales all occurred between November and November, December, January. And we found the median price was down a little bit, 10%, but, that can be very skewed with what's going on, of course, but the sales were up 40%. A lot of that just had to do with that new condominium, Victoria Place, closing on their units. And there was a lot of excitement. I saw on Instagram people purchasing, and actually other people selling what they had put into escrow 5 years ago and making a small profit on some of the more preferred units in that building. Definitely a beautiful building. I love the common element, the pools. There's a lot of pools there. There's a lot of beautiful stonework, artwork, spa area. I mean, the facilities there is what's selling that property, I would say. We have several other units in the area of Victoria Place in the Kaka'ako area, and buyers are either going for square footage, or if they want certain amenities, people are now looking at amenities. Like I know one of my clients sold a unit because there was only one pool in her complex, and then she went over to Victoria Place and there's several pools. So it's interesting how people now are really looking at that lifestyle that condominiums can offer. If we look at the highest sale for condominiums, so the beautiful Gold Coast, of course, still is up there, and it's a beautiful area, as you can see by this photo. And this is at 3003 Kalakaua Avenue, and this sold for the 4 million, which is a very good price, a little under 2,000 square feet. However, it will need some remodeling, I believe. But of course, as they say, location, location, location. And I just love this building. It's one of my favorites. Great square footage, right on the water, wonderful lanais. And this was a 3-bedroom, 2-bath property. And this actually was sold to a company in California before it was listed. So there's quite a few people who I'm finding right now on the Gold Coast, they own units. Maybe they're smaller, maybe they're only 1 bedrooms, but I've had several inquiries of people now wanting to go from a 2-bedroom to a 3-bedroom luxury condo on the Gold Coast. I've seen that several times here in the last month. Just to let you know, with our listings, we have a couple of listings, 3 bedrooms in Diamond Head, and we've had interest from people who definitely want more square footage, or they're making Hawaii more of their primary home versus coming here part-time. They're spending more time here and they want that extra space for living. Anyway, moving on to Marianne's pictures, and very beautiful. She shows us some of the nature series of her photos. And of course, this is the butterfly that she says is a metaphor, spiritual rebirth, transformation, change, hope, and light. So hopefully with Valentine's Day, we can have a great Valentine's Day and have a wonderful new year with your partner. We'll put that up for Valentine's as well. And eye-catching pink hibiscus, absolutely stunning. The color's so vibrant, and color's always so lovely to have. Just the other day, we virtually staged a property, and my client asked, "Oh, I want more color in my photos." So we actually virtually staged with more colorful pillows, and it made a huge difference. And I often feel that sometimes we learn more and more every day to be better at what we do in real estate as a broker by just listening to our clients. Some clients have excellent ideas that we actually put into action. The third is just the bliss, just being, not doing anything, just enjoying the nature, very importantly. And here, of course, is a couple waiting for a sunset on a paddleboard in the middle of the ocean. And then, of course, our famous sunsets at the beach, which are always stunning. Well, with that, I wish everyone a wonderful weekend and happy Super Bowl. That should be very interesting this weekend. There's a lot going on in the USA, as they say. But anyway, have a wonderful weekend, and much mahalo for being here today, and we'll catch up next week. Aloha.